Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So if you're a sun, moon or rising sign Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, for your key to the week, you have the Temperance card. So in a lot of ways, Temperance is about bringing your life into alignment with spiritual accordance or will. Now, in a lot of ways, this suggests that this week you are going to really be taking stock of everything to see where you are out of balance, where something or anything in your life, actually, for that matter, is going to be out of balance. If it is out of balance, if it isn't, this is really just about maintenance for you, all right? I love the Temperance card because in a lot of ways it asks us to really see where we're actually at. It's kind of like an internal vibe check, right? Or a systems check, if you like. Now, for your actions and options this week, you have the 10 of Cups, right? So a lot of focus on the home, on the resources, on the material, I want to say abundance, but at the same time it's more than that. I've just thrown a card on the floor, so that will be your next one out. In a lot of ways, this is going to see you really focused on the home, but also creating a space of love, creating a space of contentment, creating a space of happiness and peace. And also, for some of you, this may even suggest that you are maybe moving towards more inner alignment so that your external material experience is higher in its vibration, is closer in its acquisition. In a lot of ways, I really feel like this is you guys leveling up on a spiritual level after what has been quite an interesting year, and we're just about to come into Scorpio season. In fact, as we enter this week, right, so just as we have that powerful full moon in the sign of Libra, not long after we will be coming into Scorpio season. So as we come into your season of the year now, Scorpio gets a bad rap because it's the dark sign or the taboo sign or the this, that and the other, and it's not just that. One thing that is evident is obviously Scorpio is where everything goes to die. But death isn't about, just a finite ending. It's about transformation. And that's what your sign does best, does better than anybody else. So let this be a time for that, right? For your communications and conversations, you have the Queen of Wands. Coupled with the Temperance card, a Sagittarius woman may feature for you this week in some way, shape or form. Now, when it comes to... oh, come on, brain. Sagittarius woman. The reason being, Temperance card is Sagittarius ruled. We've got a Queen of Wands, which is a fire sign person, fire sign woman usually, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. As a communications card, this may be a week, not even maybe, it's a chance that you're going to be having a very interesting or possibly quite intense conversation this week about somebody that is either trying to or has a tendency to wreck your own mental peace. Now, that's not to say that it's an argument. It's just a case of maybe this week you're drawing a boundary to say, look, you know what? Maybe not even having the conversation per se, but this is almost in a way where you're saying, you know what, this person makes me emotional, this person puts me on edge or seems to pull me into or drag me into some form of drama, and I'm not here for it. I actually think that could be a very good thing to put that, that firmer boundary down. Now, when it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is a time to get really clear on what your duties are and what your duties are not, what it is that you feel like you should be doing and what it is that actually feels like an overstep. I think the more honest you are about this with yourself, the easier things will actually be. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I would say this week you might find that you're either needing to put a client in their place, or maybe you are having to mediate, especially if you have employees and clients. Maybe you're having to mediate between the two. Maybe an employee, or if you've got people that work under you, maybe one of them really pisses off a client, and a big client at that, and you're having to kind of set some more of the parameters, clearly. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working, what is it that your spirit really asks you to do right now? And what is it? And I feel like for some of you, this is something that you're actually ignoring. It's like that inner part of you is saying, this is what you should be doing, or this is what you feel drawn to. And you're like, yeah, I'll get round to that. And it's like, there's no action towards it. This week, you're being called to do something and you need to get a shift on. For your love and relations, you have the 9 of Swords underneath the 10 of Cups. Okay, so for those of you that are single and looking to date or are dating, one of the things that I will say to you is this. The 9 of Swords suggests that you might be hyping something up to worse than it actually is, because the 10 of Cups is basically what we all look for, what we all seek, right? Harmony, connection, love, abundance, enjoyment, all of that. It's almost like you're not allowing yourself to. I remember hearing a line in a film once that really made a lot of sense, and it was this guy was talking about emotions, and he said, I can feel people trying to connect with me and to love me, but it stops at my skin. It never quite gets in. And this week I kind of feel like you're putting up a shield or a barrier of some sort. Find a way to allow yourself to be vulnerable. All right, it doesn't mean that you have to expose every deep and dark and dangerous wound you've ever had to everybody so that you're a walking nerve like the Hulk, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody actually needs that. But opening up to the people that you could potentially be in love with, that's really important. When it comes to those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, maybe the person that you're having to, or the way that you're having to set some of these boundaries comes through the partner, or with somebody that, I don't want to say threatens the partner, but this could be a time where you stand up for them, right? I mean, I say this of Cancerians, and the same is to a degree true for Scorpios. Like, you never hurt the people that they love, because they'll fuck you up, quite frankly. I know a fair few Scorpios, and some of them are actually really good friends, which is why I keep them as friends. I jest, but yeah, all jokes aside, this could be something that it's not so easy just to make yourself vulnerable, but this week it's like you're needing to. If there's a certain result that you want, you may have to soften yourself or your approach. When it comes to your money and materials, you've got the Hanged Man underneath the Queen of Wands. So when it comes to the finances, the money and the resources, this week you have to keep an eye on those, especially if somebody is asking you for money or asking you to foot the bill. This, I think, honestly, I would say this would be a week where anything where there are interpersonal relationships and finances linked together, just be very, very careful there. The Hanged Man, aside from all of its other meanings, it is Neptune ruled, which suggests that you may not be seeing things as clearly as possible. And so taking time to step back, taking time to take a moment would actually be the wisest thing to do at this moment in time. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this card usually for me speaks to hormones and the lymphatic system. So if you've got any challenges or issues this week, get to a doctor and ask them to check your hormone levels. That probably, it might solve a lot, or it might at least reveal something to you that okay, now I know what's going on with me, right? And then when it comes to the home, this would be a good week. And, I know we've been shutting the world out for like the last bloody 2 years at this point, but this would be a really good week to sit at home, be in the patience, be in the stillness, be in the chill. Now you've got 2 cards here as well that have links to not only spirituality but different perspectives. And so this week there is a potential for you to gain a new insight or a different perspective in some regard, but you are having to look honestly, openly and frankly. Now that powerful full moon that's taking place in your sibling sign of Aries, why? Because Mars also rules Scorpio. The full moon message that you have is the gate 40 and solitude. So this may be a week where spending some time on your own, spending some time in quiet contemplation, spending some time to see the people that you're connected to or giving your time, energy and attention to in different ways, right? And sometimes the only way that we can do that is when we're separated from or not giving our time and energy to somebody. I would give some consideration this week. All right. Now, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.